Not a lot of sun here in Dunedin, Florida for a Saturday as the Blue Jays get set for another workout. The fog is slowly starting to lift here. And Shi Davidi, let's talk a little bit about the American League East before we get into the Blue Jays. The Baltimore Orioles appear to be doing what the Jays wanted to do last spring, which is load up, all in. First, they signed Ubaldo Jimenez, and now it looks as though they could have themselves a new outfielder as well.
Yeah, reports indicating they're getting close to a deal for Nelson Cruz, and really, this makes a lot of sense for them. Once they signed Ubaldo Jimenez and sacrificed the first-round draft pick, it made sense to keep on going for qualified free agents because now they only give up a second-round pick. You're not affecting a subsequent year's draft class. You're hurting a draft class that's already been badly affected and compromised. So they had an opportunity to add some help to a lineup that's already potent. It's only going to get stronger. And now maybe they keep going. Maybe they sign Irvin Santana too. I've heard some connections between the two sides. Whether that comes to be or not, who knows. But it's clear that the Baltimore Orioles saw a window of opportunity and decided to seize it.
Let's now move our focus to the Toronto Blue Jays. And there's always a tension when Dickey is on the mound throwing bullpens. But what we've also noticed, not only is there a GoPro camera on the helmet of the backup catcher, that backup catcher so far has been Erik Kratz all three times. Is this an indication that the Jays are leaning towards him to be Dickey's guy?
Well, it's clear that the Blue Jays are going to give Erik Kratz every opportunity to get very comfortable with Dickey, and perhaps that's a sign that they do want him to be the backup. Now, the backup is probably going to be a bit more important for the Blue Jays this year than in previous years because Giono Navarro, while they want him to carry the load, I mean, he only worked 470 innings behind the plate last year. How much of an increase can he handle this year is a bit of an uncertainty. So the backup may end up playing more often this year than in years past, and that means the Blue Jays certainly want to make sure they have a guy who can deliver both behind the plate and at the plate with the bat.
And that's a good point, because if Kratz can receive Dickey, does the fact alone that he has the power that Tolley doesn't, that he can hit for a higher average, does that give him the leg up?
It certainly might. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, whenever there's sort of similarities between two players, it's the bat that's a determining factor. I mean, the Blue Jays are going to want as much offense as they can get, especially if they go into the season with a bit of uncertainty in the pitching staff. Offense is a great way to make up the gap. So that could very well be the tipping point in that decision.
And you lead me right into our next topic, because while we talk about offense, we talk about the hitting coach. And now this is a third hitting coach in as many seasons for the Toronto Blue Jays. Kevin Seitzer takes over, and he takes over from a guy that was very popular among a lot of the players in Chad Mottola. He's going to come in here. He obviously doesn't want to change too much, but he does bring a different philosophy, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he very much believes that hitters should be using the middle of the field with two strikes. They should maybe look to go to the opposite field, kind of take what the pitcher is giving you. And it's not necessarily a message that's drastically different from other hitting coaches, but it's in a bit of a different voice. And so how the players react to that is going to be interesting. But it's worth keeping in mind that it's not like he's going to come in and try to scorch the earth, right? He's going to say, hey, you got to do it my way, you got to do it my way. That's not going to win him any fans. What he likes to do is give guys, you know, little subtle tips, win them over, and then go to them with bigger adjustments down the road if that's what he sees fit. So it's going to be an interesting relationship, an important one, and how the Blue Jays receive that voice is going to be very important to watch.
And John Gibbons brought up a really good point yesterday. He said even if Jose Bautista hits 50 home runs next year, there's a lot of at-bats where he's not hitting home runs. So if Seitzer can come find a way where guys can get base hits and doubles to make up for that, they're going to be even better offensively.